Shalom. I would like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. I would also like to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for passing down this truth, and a sincere salutation out there to the elect preaching this word in truth and sincerity. Now in this lesson, I'm going to title it, The Elect Have Plot Armor. And now that term plot armor, I first heard used by the brother Iwan of the GMS Dallas camp. I heard him use it. And then I went and looked up what the term meant. So that is what inspired this lesson right now. So let's go into the definition of plot armor. It says plot armor is a narrative device where a character survives impossible odds or dangerous situations simply because they are necessary for the story to continue. Now see, that's the elect. The elect have plot armor because the Lord, he is going to cover the elect in the times of Jacob's trouble. You know, perilous times are come upon the earth, which we're already in the beginning of Jacob's trouble, but the Lord is going to intensify it. So first, let's go to Psalm 91. I'm going to read the whole chapter. I'm going to start from the top. Short chapter, only 16 verses. The header reads, Security of the one who trusts in the Lord. Psalms 91:1, it says, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord Yahweh, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. You see, the Lord is our refuge, and my fortress. You see, the Lord is our protection. The Lord is going to be the one that's going to get us through these perilous times. The Lord is the one that's giving us a hedge of protection. Us being the elect, Lord's will, I am of the elect. It says, Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust his truth. So like it says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by the day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. You see, once the Lord really turns it up here in Babylon the Great, you know, when all hell breaks loose, you know, when shit hits the fan, there's going to be people slain in the streets. There's going to be so many bodies on the streets. You're going to have people stepping over it. The carcasses are going to stink because they're decomposing. And nobody's going to come and try and bury them because it's just going to be so many. But the chosen, the elect, it won't touch you. You will have a protection in that day. You know, you will have the spirit of a stoic on you, because Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time, and strength and wisdom and thy salvation. You see? Now, continuing on, 8th verse, it says, Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. You see, we read 8 again. It says, Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. What's the reward of the wicked? Death. It says, Because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Okay, now let's go to John chapter 10, verse 27. It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. You see, because the elect was chosen from the beginning of the earth. The Lord already knew who the chosen was. And well, should I say the Lord already knows who the chosen are. You see, and there's nothing that anybody can do to remove the chosen from their rightful position as the chosen. You see, the Lord set it up like that purposefully, strategically. You see, the Lord is perfect. He knew exactly what he was doing. 29th verse, it says, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. You see, nobody can make the elect ultimately. It's not like it's going to be, okay, you're chosen, but now you're not of the chosen because of something you did. No, the chosen is always going to be the chosen, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because the works of the chosen, the mindset of the chosen, the way that the chosen will conduct themselves in the times that we're living in now is what will ultimately grant them their salvation. First, because the Lord is the Lord's will, but ultimately the elect will have that spirit on them to do what is right according to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see, they got that spirit on them. Just like the elect was chosen to be saved, you got the 2/3 that was chosen for destruction. You see, it says in the scripture, it says, can a zebra change its stripes? No, it can't. Now let's go to Psalms 4 and 3. It says, but now the Lord Yahweh hath set apart him that is godly for himself. The Lord Yahweh will hear when I call unto him. It says, Salakia. Yeah, I'm going to read it again. I'm going to start at the top. Psalms 4 and 1. It says, to the chief musician on Neganoth, a psalm of David. It says, hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing? Selah. It says, but now that the Lord Yahweh hath set apart him that is godly for himself, the Lord Yahweh will hear when I call unto him. It says, stand in awe. Yes, stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Selah. You see, the point is in the 3rd verse. You see, the Lord selected the godly for himself, meaning the chosen, the elect. You see, and none can change that. There's nobody that can offset the prophecy. There's no one that can offset the chosen. You know, we got the chosen, the elect, they have plot armor. They're going to make it through Jacob's trouble. They're going to make it through all hell breaking loose. They're going to ultimately make it onto them chariots and be covered from the destruction that'll befall Babylon the Great and really Israel and anywhere that the elect may be found, you see? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. The header reads, the armor of God. It's Ephesians 6 to 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And it's not talking about, physical armor, it's talking about spiritual armor. You see, the Lord is giving us that spirit to endure the times to come. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. It says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. It says, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. You see, it doesn't get any clearer than that. You see, this is what you're gonna have to put on the elect, you see. Now let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4:16. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. Say on this side, you're beheaded because you don't take the MOTB, which is the micro C hip. You see? When you have the spirit on you, so no matter what befalls you, no matter what tribulation you're under, you know that there is no way in the world that that's even going to be an option for you, taking the mark of the beast. So therefore, you could be put to death for it. But that's ultimately the price that the elect are willing to pay. They're willing to sacrifice their life unto death to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and keep the way of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, The Lord said not to take it, so the elect is not going to take it. There's not going to be no ifs, ands, or buts. There's not going to be like there's going to be an elect member that happens to take it and they still get beamed up in the chariots. No. If you take that mark of the beast, you are condemned to the destruction of Babylon the Great. You will be put to death here. You will perish here with the 2/3. You will not make it into the kingdom of heaven, at least not on the first go around. You're going to have to be reborn in the kingdom. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. You see, even those that perish here on this side, when Yahushua comes back to beam up the elect, to get salvation, they're going to be the ones to rise first. You see, that's that plot armor. There's nothing you can do to destroy the elect. The elect are going to get salvation, period, point blank, end of story. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. And those of the elect that didn't take the chip, but also didn't, perish here, didn't get put to death, they're going to get beamed up as well. It says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. And you see, that's comforting to us. If you're in the right spirit, that should be comforting to you. Now, let's go to Matthew 13:47. It says again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessel, but cast the bad away. It says, so shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. You see, and this is speaking, parabolic. You see, because when Yahushua comes back, the chariots are gonna beam up the chosen. You see, think of that as the vessel where the good go, and then the perish, they just gonna get casted away. They're just gonna get thrown away. You say you go fishing, and there's something. Say if it's lawful, you reel it in. You see that it's lawful. Okay, you put it in the bucket to come home with you. Liken that to the chariot of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay, you throw your line out there. Okay, you reel it in. You realize you got a catfish. That's unlawful. You can't eat that. It can't go into the vessel with the good fish that you're taking home. So what do? You throw it back into the water. You see, you cast it away. And that's likened unto the 2/3. Matthew 13:49, it says, so shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. And you Christians, y'all like to say that's talking about hell. It's not talking about hell. There's no such place where you go and burn for all eternity. It doesn't make any sense. This is talking about the destruction. You see, when Babylon the Great is being destroyed by thermal nuclear fire, you see, nuclear missiles, ICBM missiles, and the fire from the chariots, the so-called UFOs. There's no such place as hell where you burn for all eternity. It just doesn't make sense. Now let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 34. Let's start at the 13th verse. This is Ecclesiasticus 34:13. It says, the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. And you see, that's the elect's hope. That's all the elect are going to hope for, is salvation. Hoping that in the day of destruction, they are found just. They are found worthy of the Lord's salvation. They are found worthy of the Lord's mercy. It says, whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear, nor be afraid, for he is his hope. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord, to whom doeth he look, and who is his strength. For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling, and help from falling. That plot armor. It says, he raiseth up the soul and lighteneth the eyes. He giveth health, life, and blessing. See? Now, let's go back to the blue letter. This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. You see, the 2/3, which is, the majority, will be destroyed. And it's talking about Israelites. The 2/3 are going to be destroyed, but the third part, it says, but the third shall be left therein. That's talking about the elect, the chosen. It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power. You see, the hell that we catch on this side is merely just the purification process. Don't take it personally, brothers, because we're all catching hell on this side. Not only because of the sin that we committed against the Lord, but also because we're in the flesh. There's we go through tribulation every single day, whether it be micro and macro. We all go through something here on this side daily. It's just part of the walk. But ultimately, we understand that is greater than this, is way better than this. This life that we live now isn't it for us. You see, this life that people walk around, you know, thinking this is it for them, that's as good as it gets for them. But we know that we have something far greater promised to us. All we got to do is just keep the main thing. And Lord's will, when Yahweh Shai cracks them clouds, we get beamed up with him. And then we'll know for sure that we are of the elect. All we can do is pray and hope, because we don't know for sure. But in that day, we will know for sure who the elect is and who the elect aren't. Now let's go to Hebrews chapter 1, verse 13. It says, "But to which of the angels said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs to the salvation?" And who shall be heirs to the salvation? The Israelites, but starting with the elect, the chosen. Because the elect are protected through the spirit and protection of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you see? Ultimately, the elect are protected. They're going to make it to the end of the story, you see? They're going to see the end. And what is the end? When Yahweh Shai comes back, when Yahweh sends his son back to get his vengeance on Babylon the Great. That's when the end will be. That's when we know the end is here. Once you're beamed up on that chariot, watching the destruction go down. Oh, all right, we're at the end. Once we're in the Holy Land, in our glory, and Yahweh Shai ultimately in his glory, that's the end. That's it. That's when we know, like, okay, we made it. I'm going to end it here. Let's go to Isaiah 40, verse 29. Let's read it in the NLT. Actually, I'm going to read it in the KJV and I'm going to read it in the NLT. This is Isaiah 40 and 29 in the King James. It says, "He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth their strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh shall renew their strength." Who's the they? The elect, the chosen. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not be faint." And that's talking about the elect, when they get their spiritual power. You see? That plot armor. The Lord is going to give the elect the spirit to get through whatever it is they got to get through. This is Isaiah 40 and 29 in the NLT. It says, "He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord, will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." You see? Imagine you're being chased by some FEMA troops or something, or somebody just trying to capture you. The Lord can give you the spiritual power. What's it called? The brother Armawan Gabar, head of the New York City camp, he uploaded a video of a vision that he had where he was at a gas station and all hell broke loose. And, shit had hit the fan and there was panic in the streets. And he was running down the street, but he had a certain speed. He was running so fast, it couldn't have been nothing but the spiritual power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you see? So something like that can ultimately happen in the days that come, in perilous times. The Lord can give you the spiritual power to get through a particular whatever adversity you're going through at the time, you see? But ultimately, it's going to take faith to believe that. If you don't have faith, then ultimately you're not going to believe. And if you don't believe, that means you're not of the elect. You're not of the chosen. You won't have that plot armor. So, Lord's will, you found this lesson edifying. Lord's will, I made my point. It was easy to understand. Until the next time, Shalom.